What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Spectacular Spoiler League. I'm one of your hosts, the Pandan Superman, the mayor of Hype City, HazyRome. And of course, I'm joined by the God of Night, the Prime Minister of Post-Production, DeepBoyce. And we're here to ask one essential question. DeepBoyce, what is that question today?
Sony, what you doing?
Sony, what are you doing? Sony, what are you doing? And what we're referring to is Sony has announced that they are doing solo movies for Venom, Black Cat, and Silver Sable. All I gotta ask, Sony, is why? Tell me why, Sony. Kanye's sitting over there like, how, Sony? How? Why? Why do we need those movies? I don't know why, DeepBoyce.
We had a very heated debate many moons ago on Get Coins That Die Trying.
We did.
YouTube.com/GCDTcast.
Tell them.
And we talked about the Venom character. Right?
Yes.
And because of the animated series, people like Venom. Like, our generation loves Venom.
Yeah, and you were being a bum ass about Venom.
I said, I don't really like Venom. Especially in the comics. Early on, I didn't really like him as a character. And he was good in the animated series. But I think he's overrated. And
why didn't you like him? Tell him why you didn't like him.
I don't like doppelganger villains. I don't like them. I think they're lazy and uncreative. Sure, Venom looks cool. But how different is he from Spider-Man? He has all the same powers, but he's bigger and he's stronger. Look, Spider-Man's villains are so cool and diverse. And what's interesting about them is Spider-Man has to think how to defeat. Like, he has to think up of a unique and different way to defeat Dr. Octopus, the Shocker.
Yeah.
Or rather, Electro, Vulture, Green Goblin, etc., etc. But what is it that he's going to do to defeat Venom? He's got to take him to like a church and ring the bells, and that's it?
Now, I can see DeepBoyce. At the time, I disagreed vehemently with that, and I even tried to name some cool doppelgangers. Ultimately, I do agree, and it's with the idea that doppelganger villains aren't always the best. And the one that makes me think the most egregious example, in my opinion, of a bad doppelganger villain is Bizarro.
Yes.
I hate Bizarro with a passion. I think that character is so dumb. The backwards S, the me like Lois, me like Crypto, me like this, me like that.
Bizarro.
I'm like, me and Bizarro. I'm like, honestly, it's borderline offensive. To be honest with you. The idea that, he has some type of, brain disorder or something like that going on. It's a little offensive. I'm obviously, I'm joking a little bit, about when I say that. But I think the character, in all seriousness, the character is boring. He's whack. It's silly. It's goofy. And with Venom, I can see what you're saying. That being said, I'm going to hit you with a counter argument. And at Venom, I could at least see Venom being a cool character because, for example, they've told some dope stories with Flash Thompson as Agent Venom.
Yeah.
And if they went that route, that could be cool.
Let me also clarify. I did say, even back then, that Venom got better afterwards.
You did say that. You did specify that originally he wasn't that great.
I just think, for obvious reasons, making a solo Venom film is a bad idea. And one of those reasons is going to be what I'm saying, that Venom on his own doesn't exactly stand up well. Like, what exactly are we going to watch in this movie about Venom? Can anybody tell me what the script is going to be about?
What if they told an Agent Venom storyline? What if they did that?
I mean,
my thing is, my gripe is, how are they going to change the origins of Venom? Are they going to make him so that he's similar to Spider-Man? Because if that's the case, I think it's fair to say that you need to tell the symbiote storyline. I think you need to show it bonding to Spider-Man first. I think that would make sense.
It's going to be extremely difficult for them to do the traditional story, which is the symbiote story. And the other question that I have is Tom Holland involved in this? Like, what is going? Is Tom Holland only in Marvel movies?
I'm glad you asked that.
Or is he going to be in these Sony movies? Are these Sony movies also going to be done by Marvel, like the Spider-Man movies are? Like, what's going on here?
So, all right, I'm gonna say a couple things I'm gonna say a couple things in reference to that. First, I'm gonna start off by saying the rumor is that the Venom movie is not a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is even dumber.
An enormous problem. Like, are they going to bring?
That's a problem.
Bring back the Amazing Spider-Man? Are they going to bring back your boy? What's his name? Garfield.
Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield.
Is that what they're going to try to do?
Know.
Are they going to bring back Topher Grace? Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Well, that brings my next point up in saying that Sony already tried this. Sony was going to go bananas with Spider-Man because they own the movie rights to Spider-Man. They still do, even though Marvel has the rights currently, and I'll get to that in a second. I should say Marvel has Spider-Man in the universe, but I'll get to that in a second. But they were trying to do this with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. What they were gonna do was I don't know if you remember, they're gonna do a Sinister Six movie. That's why they went way too hard with including too many Sinister Six members in Amazing Spider-Man 2. They were thinking of doing a movie about Aunt May, a solo movie about Aunt May being some type of like agent character, like an agent.
What are you doing? I never heard of that. But
we're gonna do.
Who wants to see that?
I'm serious. And some of this came out as a result of the Sony email leak that had dropped a while back. And I mean, it was rumored even before that, but some of it was kind of like made more official there. They were talking about a Venom solo movie. Like, they were really trying to make a Spider-Man cinematic universe.
Because spoilers for anyone that hasn't seen Amazing Spider-Man 2, at the end, you see like all these cells. I forget where it's at. It's what's that prison that they're at? It's
I have no idea.
Well, they're in a prison.
That movie came and went in my mind.
You see a scene where they're in a prison. It's like a famous, well-known prison in the Spider-Man comics, and you see all the other villains there. So that's kind of, they're alluding to Sinister Six, which they were planning on doing, like Hazy said. But
yeah, so this is not the thing that bugs me about this is that Sony literally couldn't wait until Marvel created a Spider-Man that people like to be like, yo, let's do our Spider-Man cinematic universe. They couldn't wait. They couldn't wait. Now they're like, yo, Black Cat, Silver Sable, Butt Cheeks McGee. They're just pulling. I don't know what they're doing, man. But like, who asked for these? And in particular with Silver Sable and Black Cat, it would be dope to see some female, comic book characters on screen getting a solo movie. I just don't want.
By the way, I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yes, it was Ravencroft. You're right. Yeah, but I don't want to see them make these movies about these female characters, and then those movies get shited on because, there's not really that much story to tell in that respect. And I don't want to see it be something where it's like, it becomes a poor reflection on women in superhero films. Because that's how these movies work. That's how it works. Where if a movie starring a female character doesn't work, people are like, oh, we can't have females starring in these superhero movies because the demographics totally showed that women weren't into it and guys weren't really into it. It didn't make money because it gets totally overblown.
Unfortunately, you have these cornballs talking about how, the leftists and the social justice warriors are infiltrating comics and shut up.
It's like, I don't want to see all that. And not to say they don't have any comic book history, they have a ton. But do they need solo movies? Hell to the no. And then you also have the looming question of superhero fatigue. We can't make movies about every single superhero. It's gonna get boring. It's gonna get tiresome, man. We don't need it. We don't need that. Nobody needs that.
It's interesting because now that Sony has kind of given the reins to Spider-Man over to Marvel, it's almost like they don't know what the heck to do. It's just they feel like, maybe. Actually, no. I was thinking maybe this is a way for Marvel to circumvent the deal that they have. Because, if Sony doesn't make a Spider-Man movie every 6 years or something, they lose the rights. Yeah. But I guess maybe if they're working in conjunction with Marvel, that still counts. Maybe.
Well, let's talk about the deal. Let's talk about the deal that Marvel Studios and Sony Pictures carved out for Spider-Man. So it started. The first movie that Spider-Man featured was Captain America: Civil War. They're actually working on a deal around the time of Avengers: Age of Ultron. By the time they were able to iron something out, or they were on the verge of ironing something out, the deal actually fell apart and it didn't work out. But they actually did have plans going forward to Captain America: Civil War to include Spider-Man if they had gotten the deal going around the time of Avengers: Age of Ultron coming out. Eventually, they actually were moving forward with Civil War without Spider-Man, and then they happened to strike a deal, and that's why Spider-Man was kind of like a late addition to the movie. Originally, Black Panther was basically supposed to be like the only, in-between character, taken... Eventually, the rumor was he was going to serve the character, the same role that Spider-Man served in the Civil War comic book line, was to kind of be a foil, between... a foil for the viewer looking into this conflict between, Captain America and Iron Man, and him having to choose sides and eventually switching sides. But anyway, the deal itself, okay? So, Marvel Studios does not own the rights to Spider-Man movies. Sony Pictures still does. According to the deal, Marvel will get to use Spider-Man in some of their crossover films. So films like Captain America: Civil War, Avengers, without having to pay Sony to use the characters. That being said, because those are Marvel-produced films, Marvel would make all the revenue from those movies. They make the whole cut. Any solo Spider-Man films, Sony will take on the price for production and make all the profits. So that being said, Spider-Man: Homecoming, although it's going to feature Tony Stark, allegedly Marvel's not supposed to receive any revenue from that movie because it's a solo Spider-Man movie. That being said, Marvel Studios, Sony Pictures, they're co-producing the deal. This is according to an article from Variety in 2015, by the way. So, just so you have a source. So just search Variety, Spider-Man, Sony Marvel deal, and you'll get all the details. So, there's probably some type of financial details regarding that, but the whole idea is that Sony is basically making the Spider-Man solo films with the help of Marvel and making the money from them, while Marvel gets to use Spider-Man in, I guess any film they want. I suppose they have to ask Sony's permission, and they'll make the money. They'll make all the revenue from all the movies that they, are producing. All the movies that are based on the characters that they own the rights to. That's probably a better way to say it. So originally Marvel wanted to buy back Spider-Man for Sony, but Sony was like, nah, man, we know Spider-Man's worth mad money. But they're like, but we also know we don't know what the hell we're doing with that character. So Marvel, help us out. Marvel's like, cool. We'll increase his value, and we'll make money from him, and you'll make money from him. Perfect deal. Now, coming back to the issue, what we kind of first brought up is these movies, these tie movies. Like, is Marvel going to let them tie into the MCU? Even the fact that it's not confirmed, like, these are MCU movies. Even the fact that Kevin Feige didn't say, hey, we're working on these movies. He didn't come out and announce these movies. That's a bad sign. It's a bad sign. And, like you said, Sony has every right to include Tom Holland in those movies. They want to.
Sheebus.
That's the thing. So, I think, if anything, they'll take place in, like, a pocket. In that... you won't see, any of the Avengers run around. You may not see, like, Avengers Tower running around, or Avengers Tower's not going to run around. It's a building. Avengers Tower in the skyline or something of any of those movies, but you will see Tom Holland. You probably won't see any other Marvel characters that belong to, Marvel Studios, but you can potentially see Tom Holland, at least according to how that deal was outlined.
This is a mess.
So, yeah. It's a mess.
It's a mess.
Sony, don't do it. Please don't do it.
Do it, Sony. I mean, just... Yeah. Oh, my God. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. Because, again, like we said earlier, what is the need? What is the need of a Venom movie? What is it going to be about? What's the story? What story are you going to do?
And even back then with that article from Variety, they also said that Kevin Feige, who, he's the mastermind behind this whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. Even that article, they said that he's not expected to be creatively involved with the spin-offs, which is another problem.
They're going to suck.
Not necessarily, but it means that they're not going to have the guiding hand of the MCU. That's what I'll say. So Sony, don't do it. Don't do it. It just... Like, what? Like, you're going to make a quick buck off of these characters, I guess? Yeah. And I guess that's good for them because, I guess they'll make money just from Spider-Man being featured, maybe, somehow. I don't know, dogs. It's... I'm just laughing because it's such a bad idea, man. We all know it. We don't need it. We don't need that. Me not want that. Me not need that.
I was under the impression that after Infinity Wars is done, that Spider-Man's going to be one of, if not the, main guy of the new crop of heroes.
He can be.
But, with this new deal, it'll be kind of interesting what Marvel's going to have to do going forward.
He still can be. I'm sure there's more to that deal than we know because it just seems that there's no financial entanglements. If they're co-producing these films, then obviously, Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios, they gotta get paid from somewhere, right? Not just gonna go do these movies with Sony.
I just hope the Marvel
versa
movies have priority. So if Marvel's like, we got them locked up for this and that,
that seems to be the case.
Yeah,
it seems to be the case, but I don't even know. I think at the end of the day, Marvel is the godfather for Sony. That's the way I look at it. So creatively, Sony has actually the final say, but Marvel is the godfather for the Spider-Man character and his appearances in their universe. So if they don't want a movie to be in every universe, they're not going to include it. They're not gonna reference Venom. They're not gonna reference Black Cat. They're not gonna reference Silver Sable, unless of course those movies turn out to be good. And Marvel's like, yo, can you hold us down with that, Sony? Sony's like, yeah, sure. You helped us out with Spider-Man. Sure.
No idea why they're trying to involve Black Cat and Silver Sable. I feel like both those characters would work better in the Daredevil Netflix show. Oddly enough.
You know what? That would be dope. Also, I just wanted to say a quick shout out to the Spider-Man animated series back in the day because I actually told a dope story with Black Cat where her father stole the super soldier serum back in the World War II days or a version of it. So they tied it into Captain America and that he stole it and then he gave it to, he was a master thief. His daughter became a master thief and then he gave it to his daughter and she was rocking with the super soldier serum as Black Cat. Yeah. She basically could kind of activate it and deactivate it when she wanted to. It was actually a dope story.
I Black Cat more than Catwoman.
That is people. I could see people debating that till the ends of the earth, man. Till the end of time.
Yeah, I know people.
Even though one character is more popular.
Catwoman's definitely more popular, but anyway, man.
But that character is a cool character. I would love to see her in Spider-Man movies, just not as a solo movie.
Definitely not. And Silver Sable has an interesting premise, but not for a solo movie either.
What's her premise? What's the premise of her story?
She's a leader of a mercenary, world-class mercenary group, pretty much. That's pretty much what she is. Would make
they could do something cool with that.
What would make more sense is there are plenty of other Spider characters. Why not Sony try to make those? I think like a Miles Morales type thing, or Silk, or Aranya, or Spider Woman.
I just feel like that could confuse people. Because, these movies think that the average consumer is dumb.
Okay.
Which might be.
At least a female Spider-Man, I think, is enough. If you have a female Spider-Man or something like that, people wouldn't be too turned off.
I could see that, but I would much prefer if they kept it within the Spider-Man, web of stories, pun intended, and had it be like a Spider-Verse storyline. No. I would prefer that, but I don't know about a solo movie. I can't think of one character from Spider-Man lore that I'd be like, yo, this person deserves their own solo movie. While Peter Parker is Spider-Man. And why I said it like that is because I could totally see Miles Morales being the next Spider-Man. Cool, that would be great. But I just can't think of any character from the Spider-Man universe. I know you hate on Venom, but like I said, Agent Venom could be a good movie. The Silver Sable movie could actually be good. With the mercenary, group.
It just seems too similar to the
and hunting down criminals.
Too similar to the Black Widow movie, the whole deal.
Fair enough. What I was gonna say is, what if Silver Sable and Agent Venom kind of had a movie together, or maybe they were opposed to each other. That could be dope.
Work better.
She's the villain. She would serve as maybe the villain, or the antagonist to Agent Venom. That would be cool.
The thing is that I don't even...
I can see that. Or even Black Cat could be involved with that because he's a thief.
All three of them.
Thief's always getting himself into international
All three
trouble.
of them could be involved, honestly.
All three of them. All three of them. I can vouch for that. Stop being so negative and vouch for that. I'll be alright with that. But I just, there being some silly gases right now, man. Some silly gases. I don't need that, man. We don't want that. Any final words, man?
Sony, what are you doing?
So I just keep laughing at Sony. What the F are you doing? I'm just exasperated with Sony. It's just like, you made the smart move. You made the move that Fox hasn't made, which is give back the character so that it can be done right. You did the right thing, Sony. You make PlayStation 4s too, Sony. I love you for that. But this is some nonsense, man. Sony, this is some nonsense, brother. I don't need this, man. Any final words on the topic, man?
Sony, what are you doing? That's all I really gotta say.
Sony, what's good, fam?
Sony,
what's good? Sony, we should have a drink one day. Sony pictures. Let's
Sony,
talk.
stay in your lane. Or Sony, make a show. You can maybe make some show. You can make shows with these characters. Why not?
I would totally be down to see some Netflix characters from Sony from Spider-Man's universe. Sure, I'd take that. Anyway, man, let's get on out of the hole of spoilers, man. Let's head over to Sony Pictures and stop protesting right now.
Occupy Sony.
Just end this. Occupy Sony, man. Let's get this madness over with, man. Let's end this. Let's be sensible, rational human beings, man. Stop the madness, Sony, please. Sony, please. Anyway, we're getting out of here, guys. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Sony's. I'm just shaking my head right now. I can't. I'm just tired, bro. I'm tired, man. I'm tired of it. Oh boy.